And here we are, we're just looking at some mangosteen at the supermarket, and it's $7.99. I hope you can see it. It says $7.99. It's per pound. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but that's what it is. Let's go see what we're looking at over here. That's about $7.99. That's $16 worth of mangosteen right there. So we're going to buy some. So here we are, we're looking at the fruit, and I want to show you a couple things, point out. When you cut the fruit, you want to take the fruit and use your knife and come all around the edge. Not up here way up at the top, but kind of like about a third of the way down, and then very gently cut and go all around so it ends up coming out looking like this. Okay? If you cut too high, you end up with this. So this is really what you want, and then what you want to do is when you pull away the top, you want to separate that, and then sometimes the separation will actually be hanging on there. So the fruit will be hanging on. But this is one of the most delicious fruits I've ever tasted. Mangosteen fruit is the official, or let's just say the national fruit of Thailand. And this fruit is grown in Indonesia. It is grown in in many tropical climates around the world. It's expensive. Some places in Hawaii also grow, I believe on the island of Maui. There are plenty of plantations of this fruit tree. These fruit trees are actually male and female, so you need male and female trees. That's my understanding. A lot of this information that I'm sharing with you is available from Julia F. Morton. She is the author of the book Fruits of Warm Climates. Now, I don't usually talk about things that we can't necessarily grow here in Florida, but if you want to give it a shot, you can actually grow this fruit, and this is what the seed looks like right here. So there's your seed. And the interesting thing about this is that there's a bit of a misconception. If you look at that very carefully, I hope you can see, it looks like a little shamrock or a little star. This one has, let's see if we can count it for you. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that means that there would be 7 segments. In other words, 7 of these segment pieces of fruit inside, individual white segments of fruit. That does not mean that there are 7 seeds. Okay? So generally, the larger segment is the one that's going to contain the seed. Now the seed is very fibrous, and oftentimes you end up with not much of a seed. You end up with a flat nothingness. It's just this flat little something that looks like this. Now here's something you ought to know. It's really not a seed. What it's called is, there's a fancy term for it, but I like to keep things simple. So this is not a seed. This is an adventitious embryo. Now, these plants, these seeds, these adventitious embryos can be planted, and they will come true to seed. So you don't have to really concern yourself with grafting, air layering. Those things, to my understanding, are not very practical. And you know, maybe now, maybe today, people are out there and they've got more information than I have to share. But my understanding is that they're grown from seed. Here's the thing. If you grow it from seed, sure, you're going to get some fruit, but you're going to need a male and female plant. And that's not always something that's easy to determine when you're obviously just planting seeds. Now, if you know more about the plant than I do, maybe you could post a description of the flower, the difference between the flowers. That would help us to better understand. But again, I don't think anyone in Florida is going to seriously try to plant this, except for maybe just for fun. You've got to keep these plants in the 50-degree and up range. Anything below that, they're going to be goners. 40 degrees for sure is going to kill them. Seedlings are going to die anywhere below 50 degrees generally. This is from information I've obtained by speaking to people from different parts of the world, and from people who have grown these or attempted to grow these here in Florida. Now, if you want to see a tree, I think there is a tree at Fairchild Tropical Gardens in Miami, and I think it's in the Glass House. Now, that's been beautifully renovated from what I understand. I haven't been there for a while, and it's a wonderful place for you to go. I believe it was David Fairchild, if I'm not mistaken, was a very, very famous explorer, and he took a keen interest in fruits from all over the world. Now, enough talk. Let's taste and tell you what this tastes like. Okay, I'm going to take the entire thing, and I'm just going to pop the whole thing in my mouth, all the white part. I'm just going to pop that in my mouth, okay? So it's going to be quiet for just a minute. Okay. It melts in your mouth. And I just swallowed almost the whole thing. The flavor is incredibly delicious. It's like eating a citrus, a peach, a pineapple. It is extremely complex. But let me tell you, it is absolutely delectable. Truly a magnificent fruit. No wonder they call it the queen of fruits. Now, what I have left in my mouth right now is a large segment of the fruit, as I had pointed out earlier. And that's the one that's got the seed in it. That's why I'm talking funny, because I got a seed in my mouth. And that seed is about the size of this one here. What you're looking at right there, it's about that size. But it's got a lot of fiber around it. So to get it to look like this, you're going to need to wash it under the sink. And don't drop it down the drain, because bye-bye seed. Now, I don't know if, because I've never tried this. Maybe you guys and gals have tried to grow this in Florida or somewhere else in the world. I wonder if you need to heat these things, these adventitious embryos. I wonder if you need to give them a heat treatment to kind of like get them acclimated and sort of prepared to sense that it's time to germinate. Or if just regular planting in a good potting mix and maintaining some bottom heat is good enough. Now, is it true? You guys tell me. Is it true it takes almost 2 years to have a 1-foot tree? I really would love to know if anybody wants to share that with me. With respect to the fruit itself, this particular fruit is it's kind of hard on the outside, this one. But by the same token, you can see it gives a little bit. So it is kind of, yeah, there you go. It gives. I had one that I didn't share with you on this video earlier that was really hard. I couldn't even put a little dent in it, and I cut that one open, and that one was all spoiled and nasty and gray inside. So also I've seen videos of these fresh, obviously on YouTube, and they're beautiful. They have a much deeper color, and they don't look like they're as hard as this. Maybe they are, but the color is much more intense. But nevertheless, I'll tell you, I wish I could eat a fresh one, but if a fresh one is better than this, then wow, that's really amazing. But this came out of a net bag that you saw earlier in the video, and was at a local market, and was kept on, in a cold freezer, probably in the 40s or 50 degree temperature range, probably 45 degrees inside the refrigerator. But I'm going to take the seed out of my mouth here. Now see, it's got a lot of fiber on there. So all that has to be cleaned off, and then it'll look like this. Anyway, I think that you've got yourself a little bit of information here about the mangosteen. If you want to try something delicious, that's different, that's exotic, go out and get some of this fruit. It's really amazing.